Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of No Recoil, the only Samurai Shodown podcast that we know of. I am your host, Scrub Saibot. This is my good friend, resident Rimuru down player, Inazuma.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
Hello. To our live studio audience, but not really because it's a YouTube. So basically, as an intro, this is going to be a Samurai Shodown 7 centric podcast, or Sam Show 2019, if you want to be more specific. And it's just going to be like a generalistic podcast about events in the scene, updates to the game, any of those kinds of happenings, or anything that we find interesting, just to kind of liven up the content space a bit, add some more stuff, especially with a lot of cool things on the horizon for this game, and lots of good opportunities for promo. So, for this episode of the show, our inaugural episode, we have a couple pretty interesting topics. The first is that we have a very big event coming up this weekend. Frosty Faustings 2023 Midwestern Tournament. Notable in that Samurai Shodown is an official game. And there's quite a big turnout of the tournament itself. It's got 3,068 people. So that's pretty sick. It's one of the biggest majors now. And more notable is that Sam Show is official, which is not super common at the big events. So it's definitely something a lot of people in the scene are looking forward to. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about predictions, expectations, what to look out for, who, the heaviest hitters in the bracket, what the pools look like right now. And then second on the docket is that rollback is soon upon us. February 10th, 17th, the rollback open beta test will begin. It is a little bit delayed, unfortunately, but that's how the cookie crumbles, and at least we're getting it, even if it took 3 goddamn years. So, finally our game is saved, and it's a pretty big deal. So we're going to spend a bit of time talking about, how has Sam Show come along, how has it got to this, what do we expect from rollback, how do we think rollback's going to help the game, So yeah, that'll be fun. So before we start off, Inazuma, how are you doing? What have you been up to? What's good?
I've been doing well. I'm like everybody else, just waiting for that rollback. The closer to what, like before we even got the exact date, like we're all thinking about it's coming in January. I was super high. I was playing just about every single day. It's like, oh yeah, is it gonna come tomorrow? They didn't tell us about it, this weekend. And then they suddenly dropped the date and told us it's delayed to February, and instantly I lost all motivation to play. But it's only a couple about 10 more days. So these days I've just been trying to we got a lot of returning players. Some people who dropped the game. They picked it up back in 2019 and dropped the game soon after. But now that they heard about the rollback, they're trying to pick it back up. So I've been working with them, as you know. I'm probably kind of known at least in the Discord for helping new players, and I try to get them games, review their matches whenever possible. So these days I've just been working with a couple of people, some of which are actually going to Frosty. So I'll be rooting for them and see how far they can take it.
Yeah, there's a lot of faces in the bracket, lots of obviously, known players from previous quote-unquote eras, right? Like the Parsec era, the 2019 era, some people I've not heard of in a long time, and also some people that have been playing here and there that have been on the grind recently, or, even some people I recognize that have been just playing like local. I've just been streaming in a basement. It's really cool seeing how people try to play this game. Because it's very, you have to really think outside the box, but there is a variety of ways to play, right?
Or you could be stubborn like me, just still grinding the PS4 ranked. It's like nobody there.
Yeah. Some people are willing to suffer. Some people even play EGS, which is like if you haven't played EGS delay, it's like EGS delay is so bad. I think they shouldn't have shipped the game with netcode. It's that bad. But you know that support, that's like all of those little things are what helped us get to where we are with a 90-person bracket and with rollback coming, right? So how can you say it was like not worth it, right?
We definitely yell loud enough, especially on Twitter at SNK for this rollback. Yeah. I think we really memed on them for several years. And you know what? When they first announced that rollback is even coming, I was not expecting that. I was like, they keep saying, the way they made it sound like, oh, it's impossible. Oh, we don't really want to do it, right? That was their attitude at first before COVID, and then when COVID really came in, it's like they turned 180 about it, and seeing everybody else starting to do a rollback. I guess nothing's impossible. Just
I kind of subscribe to the Kool-Aid that like the company line sort of was that you can't add rollback to Unreal Engine 4 games, but like I don't know. I'm not a developer, right? And the point still stands that like the game needs this, or not just that the game needs this, right? Because you can let a game fail, right? Some games, like there's how many fighting games? There's like a million, right? It's more the fact, in my opinion, that it's very obvious that people want to play, right? Like there is money to be made right now from the people that are here, and they keep making that obvious on Twitter or wherever else that they want to make it work, right? And that's the same reason that I think that we could get a balance patch, maybe. And we could probably...
I do hope we get a balance patch. This game needs at least 2 more.
Yeah,
but that was not bad. Don't get me wrong, but it could use a couple more.
It's very late cycle KI. we got a rash on the roster. That's a good comparison for Viking. It's good times for the game. It's like the best spot. I've never felt better about the game ever, actually. Like with Xbox, which I'll get to later about like, you know, how things have changed this year with Xbox, right? I was ready to be done, but like I have not unironically like I don't play anymore. Like I don't make myself play anymore. I just want to play now, which was like unheard of since like the start of the game. I was always playing, you know, because I got results before, or because there was a big event coming, because whatever. But now I just want to play.
Yeah, I mean, when games are, you know, positioned correctly and properly on a good platform, you feel motivated to play, right? You just feel like playing, right? It's not, you don't have to push yourself to do something you don't want to do. The game is naturally fun, right? There's a lot of things back then that made it not fun, right? Like, lobbies crashing, that's a big one. I think lobbies crashing on console drove a lot of people away from the game, like immediately in the first 6 months, right? Like
that's another thing, right? In regards to rollback expectations, is like there are other problems than the rollback, right? And it's like an ongoing discussion about what needs to change in the game and what else they need to do, right? Because it's like if rollback can come, I'm sure all these other things can be addressed. But like, will SNK do it is another discussion. And if SNK has taught me anything, it's don't try to predict what SNK will do.
Well, to be fair, I think holding the reins, quite a bit of it is Code Mystics, and props to them, right? Like, I think they've delivered it in the past, so I think we're in good hands. It's only 10 more days, and then is it 10 or 11 more days, and then we'll get to see at least a first version of hopefully a revamped lobby system. Because I think that's along with netcode, that's like the second biggest issue.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Uh, and then I think I think those two things, lobby bugs, because there's a lot of them, and rollback, I think those are like, if you make like a list of the most important things, those are by far the biggest, right? And then,
I think so. Yeah.
and then beyond, more like quality of life, like the problems with ghost mode, with like,
Get rid of it. Just get rid of it. It's not even on the the Japanese website anymore. They don't even
Oh, yeah, it's false.
promote it anymore.
It's false advertising. It doesn't.
I think recently I saw somebody on JP Twitter just memeing on the fact that this is a ghost mode. Oh god. And you would think, were they just too early? They announced this game came out in 2019, but like neural networks and stuff really started to get going. I think a couple years down the line.
Yeah, we'll get Google DeepMind to fix ghost mode.
Just have read inputs.
Yep.
Oh no, that's not the point. The point is to imitate a certain player's playstyle, so it's not to beat you. The AI can already do that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that could help the game, and I hope they get them. That's an ongoing discussion. The most important thing is that the backbone of what the game needs to survive is now there. Right? We're not playing a game. It's not like a withering apple tree where it's like, when are we gonna die? Right? Now we can support events probably forever. And if you look at like the landscape of the fighting community right now, if you look at things like Third Strike, the Third Strike scene is actually quite a bit better than Ultra Street Fighter 4. And honestly, the only reason, in my personal opinion, is probably a can of worms, because a lot of people get mad at me for saying Ultra is more popular than the Third Strike. But Third Strike has a rollback, and Ultra does not, which has had a profound impact on the support for both those games. So I really think the sky's the limit. As long as you have rollback, and it's just happy times now, right?
Yeah.
It can't get better. I can't get worse, but we've already survived, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. So that's good, right? Yeah.
I think yeah. I mean, the next stage, like assuming rollback is good, next thing will just be crossplay. I don't know if that's ever gonna happen, but that would be really, really good.
Yeah, this game has a big issue with platform splitting. Yeah, it's quite a big problem. The most egregious of those being that there are two PC versions and they cannot play each other. And
unfortunately, and two Xbox versions that can't play with each other.
Well, in fairness, those are like different versions of the game with different features, sure. And those are two different consoles. But there's literally two versions on the same platform, and they can't play each other. Which some people are sadly, I've been seeing the posts, and some people are sadly figuring that out now, which is pretty unfortunate.
Yeah.
It sucks. Like, for you and me, it's probably a no-brainer to buy the game again, right? I'm sure we both own multiple copies, right? But
I think a lot of people have more than two copies. Two,
yeah,
at least two. I have two. I think most people do.
I mean,
I wasn't all known, but like quite a few.
Well, like your favorite fighting game, I probably had at least 5 copies of Street Fighter 4 back in the day, right?
Yeah.
but like these new dudes, it's a hard sell, and we have to remember that everybody plays as much as us, right? And it's important that those guys don't get snubbed, and it kind of looks like, at least for now, EGS is kind of...
Other than EGS, the biggest one I think is Switch players. People who started playing on the Switch, they're not getting rollback either, right?
I don't respect Switch players. Fuck them.
Yeah, like Switch players, they had to get a Steam version or something, I guess.
You bought a Switch for fighting games? Like, come on. I don't know about that
You
one.
say that, but at one point, Switch was like the place to host tournaments because it was so stable. Like it was during the time where the consoles, well, Switch is a old console, but like the PlayStations were not so stable to host lobbies with. The Japanese just played. The Japanese team just played their tournaments on Switch.
Okay, well, like I said, whatever you need to do to play, but
Yeah.
I think the Switch version is kind of cringe. I can't hit 60,
below,
so...
below 60 frames per second, but I mean, it gets...
Whatever. Okay, so... Let's get this ball rolling on Frosties. So... Frosty Faustings, Lombard, Illinois, which is basically Chicago. Might as well be. It's just the hotel's cheaper out there, probably. So... Yeah, it's started, from my recollection, or at least when I was younger, before I was like had the means to like travel and stuff, and I kind of paid attention to things like on an accessory level, right? Frosties was definitely very niche, very deliberately. It was very much regional. It was very much about Guilty Gear. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It had a very, it's not like it's not homegrown now. It had a very anime convention little convention center vibe to it. And I like that kind of thing in an event, right? Like events in my city, like we have a big tournament at an anime-thon, and it's kind of like that. It's kind of cozy, grassroots vibe.
Hotel reception with hotel chairs, that kind of deal.
Yeah, like you know those gray like convention center chairs. Like no convention center like tables. Yeah, like that kind of thing, right?
Yeah. The foldables.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you know, these big majors, they're on ballrooms now, right? That's kind of universally right because like convention centers aren't really viable for majors for internet costs, and so basically the meta is to rent these hotel halls because they can like give you discounts and stuff, because it has the accommodations for people. Like you don't have to cap it.
Believe it or not, I still haven't traveled for anything. Anything, period. I have never traveled anywhere for a tournament, period.
Like not even, you have to have been your local.
Yeah, to my local,
so
but that's my local. I mean, like,
you
I have to go
traveled-
out of town, go into like, I have to book a hotel, that kind of deal. I have not done that.
But you traveled off your couch. to your land setting.
Sorry?
You traveled to your land setting.
Yeah, but that's not even, and not like, that's just my local. That's just like subway ride. Like I don't have to go anywhere. Don't have to room with anyone, and like certainly didn't really compete.
Okay, well,
I was going to try and do back in 2020. I was gonna go to Evo. Like that was part of my plan, but then they just shut it down. So like, all right, I was gonna play Evo. I'm gonna play Samsung Evo.
Wow, you're an online warrior through and through.
Yeah, that's just my identity now. I just like see me on PS4. Right?
try that on me online.
Yeah. You know, some tournaments actually do run games online while being offline. See me online. See me offline.
That'd be a cool experiment. You could just go to the venue if you want, or you could be at home.
Yeah, I think they do it with Tekken, right? Like that's one of the things they.
That's whack. Tekken netcode's whack. So I don't know about that.
I'm curious, but I think I've definitely seen it happen. I think one of the tournaments. Anyway, that's one option you can have. It would roll back. Everything's good. So see me online, offline.
So, and it seems from what I can see that Frosties has like really exploded recently, and like especially with the vacuum introduced during COVID, where a lot of long-time events like Final Round and like the Fall Classic and SoCal Regionals, a lot of those like early in the year majors, NorCal Regionals and SoCal Regionals are both gone, right? So Frosties is like really the go-to winter major. There isn't really something comparable, right? The closest thing probably being NEC, which is like kind of pales in comparison to Frosty. So they've really carved a niche out for themselves, and it's really attracting a lot of people. And I was doing some research, so let's see. I'm gonna look out Frosty's 2020. So 2020 was the first year I went.
How many attendees were there for this game?
For Sam Show? Well, keep in mind this was pretty recent, right?
Right.
So I'll just talk about the total attendees. So total game entrance, because I can't track spectators, right? But total game entrance in 2020, right before COVID, was 1,796.
Wow.
And then Frosty Faustings 2023 is a whip whopping 3,080. 3,080.
Yeah, three
So,
times this, the growth.
yeah, that's pretty nuts, right? You have to think about COVID too. They've only had one offline since COVID. So that's a pretty amazing rebound, like growth since COVID. That's not very common, right?
Yep.
Like if you kind of see what the discussion and the whole sphere is like on Twitter about like how COVID has affected tournaments and the future of tournaments, the thing people keep saying is that, you know, the smaller, lower end events or lower production value, they're kind of getting squeezed out. It's getting harder, especially with hardware considerations that we are very obviously imminently like on a hardware transitional point where, you know, MSI is sponsoring tournaments for 144 hertz monitors. Capcom is transitioning to 144 hertz PC setups, right? You know, even stuff like mix amps at Evo, every single pool with a mix amp at Evo, that's pretty sick, right? And combo breaker, that's a pretty great quality of life thing. And if you look at these smaller events, right, that just don't have that, right? And it's like, what are you gonna do? So especially with like how much it costs to go to anything, I think, in my opinion, people look at these, people like count their pennies and are like, okay, well, I could go to this thing where I don't know if it'll be that good, or I could go to this event that's huge and has all these quirks and will definitely be good. So that's why like we're getting these super majors and like smaller semi-regionals or like lesser known majors or like more regional stuff. They're kind of getting squeezed, and we're seeing less KITs, less Big E events. It's hard because, you know, I'm not American, and I did not start actually traveling or at least traveling by air for events until very recently. So I don't have like a big historical insight into this, but just like my impressionistic view is that the landscape is changing to like these bigger events, and Frosty's very, very clearly has enormously benefited from this, because I think the only events bigger than Frosty now are CEO, Combo Breaker, and Evo, because I think it actually has like almost the same or even more entrants than last year's CEO. Let me look at CEO 2022. Let's see. So CEO 2022 had 2,442. So Frosty's bigger than CEO.
Oh.
Yeah. That's pretty sick.
Good?
It's pretty damn good. Now, CEO is at Daytona Beach, which is a little shitty. Shitty. No. Not even just like, you know, not even talking about the place, quote unquote, but like just the flights. Like for me, all the flights to Florida, it's all like 12 to 14 hours of flying for like
What?
yes for it's
Is it?
yeah.
There's no direct from
No, Alberta.
Canada?
Alberta to Southeast U.S. is really bad. It was like almost that bad for my KIT flight. Right. That's why I almost didn't go. It's really bad for Canada.
You fly to Toronto, and then you stay. I guess it was a layover for a couple hours, and then you go, right?
I took 3 flights to get to and back from.
3 flights.
Yeah.
3.
Well,
That sucks.
they weren't that long. Well, one of them was long. It's always
14 hours can get me to Asia. What the hell?
yeah. Yeah, I wanted to go. I made my bones. I wanted that trophy. I debated it a lot, right? Because I knew that there would be certain issues, or at least I strongly suspected, and I knew what kind of tournament it was. I knew it was like a regional. And especially because it was the last year for KIT, I knew that there would be like a strong risk that there was issues, and then it's like there's no accountability because they're not hosting another one, right?
Right.
And then sure enough, there was like a ton of issues with the stream and the timing for Sam Show, and like the audio, where like the biggest problem being that the stream setup was really laggy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. It was like I thought it was in my head, but then like Tekken players started saying the same thing.
Yeah, let me get on that. They're complaining. Let me complain.
Hey, validation from somewhere. Otherwise, I'm just talking out of my ass. So I can't be wrong. So.
You throw the first stone.
Oh. Yeah, so like KIT wasn't like horrible. There was issues, and just for like the money I spent, right? It's a little hard to justify for a tournament like that, especially because like I don't think it even had more than 30 people. Right?
Well, we'll see. With these larger, as you said, with these larger tournaments, they're having better setups and more people try to their entrance. We get overall better product delivered, right? People, and you can tell if more people attend, there's more incentive for them to do better, right?
Yeah. It's pretty clear. Like the more signups you get, the more sponsors you get. It's like an exponential curve. More money.
Yeah.
More capability to do more things and make the experience better. Hire more people.
Yeah. The thing is, what I'm interested in is that when we have a good setup, that way people are signing up, and then for a quote unquote small game like Sam Show, we have a lot of people attend for it. It only gives a better exposure and lets other events know that hey, there's people playing this and people want to see this, right? So
yeah,
like Sam Show's not really at EVO outside of Vortex Gallery, right? So, but can you imagine if there's enough support that it becomes a main title game again, right? That would be really, really cool.
So, one of the things I'm most proud about this year, among many things, or maybe the thing I'm like the absolute most proud of, is that I'm actually really happy we got Sam Show on the main stage, because you know, we were really able to show the hype. You can hear like some crowd noise in the background, right, from cheers, and it's clear everybody there like really enjoyed it. It's clear that all the players there really enjoyed it. The guys that got on stage, like I'm so happy that we got, because Bubba doesn't travel a lot. I'm really happy Bubba got his moment. I really got happy Royal Psycho got his big moment, because those guys are mostly like online players, right? Yeah. It's just really cool that we could show Sam Show.
Yeah, especially how it developed over the course of COVID, right? It's not like we really push the envelope on how high the skill scaling in this game can go.
Yeah, and I really think every top 8 stream helps, and I think that Evo stream was very instrumental to helping support the game, right? So I'm very happy we got that accomplished. And yeah, I just want to keep building stuff like that. I just want positive energy. We really have nothing to lose. So
Yeah. Shout outs to Frosty and Kelly.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like they've just the Xbox scene, the whole Xbox wave has like, it's done so much for the game. Like, it's put the game on the map. If it wasn't for Xbox, I wouldn't be the player I am right now. I wouldn't still be playing. I probably wouldn't still be. We wouldn't be talking right now, right? I wouldn't be talking. We wouldn't be having this podcast, right? The main Discord probably wouldn't even be as active. We wouldn't have as many people going to Frosties, and we probably wouldn't have even had the Evo side tournament.
Yeah, that's. I think that's the biggest one.
Yes, we owe so much to Frosty and Kelly, putting all that work in on all the stream and the promo. Like, Kelly is so diligent and so passionate, and I'm just thankful that for whatever crazy voodoo reason, the Xbox version has a good netcode, or at least playable netcode, and I don't know why, but I've been playing every single day. Like, I had a time I actually played 9 straight days. I think I played Samurai Shodown every day for 9 days. I have not played.
Grinding.
Yeah, I have not played this much and enjoyed it since before Parsec, probably since the launch of the game. Like, I actually can't believe, like, we have like 10-man lobbies going for 5 hours 3 nights a week, and like that's not even the long since people are playing. We've had monthlies back again. And they're starting to get like comparable numbers to the Parsec era. It's basically we're back, and it's so nice. Instead of Parsec, that you can just load up the game, because that is the thing that really hurt the Parsec wave and made the Parsec wave not very viable.
Setup cost too, right? And also the setup cost. It's just insane how much it costs to get the Parsec going. Too much. What's it? Startup costs.
Yeah, it's just, I was really excited for a while for it, and I thought it was the wave, but just like it kind of just petered out, and for better or worse, it just became obvious that like at an end user level, it wasn't what the game needed. Like, the game really needs to be just something you play, and not like an undertaking, right?
Yeah.
Should need like a communal like money pool to run the game, right? People just
that's not sustainable. So
yeah, people established that we're gonna do it, or they didn't want, and it's for better or worse. I think if everyone pitched in a little bit, it could be done, but like for whatever burst, people didn't want to do that, and it's just how it turned out. And I don't think we could have helped the game long term with Parsec, right?
Mm-hmm.
Despite Guilty Gear Strive and whatever else, right? I don't think Parsec was enough for Sam Show.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. But so Xbox randomly is playable and saved the game, and everyone's been leveling up like crazy. There are people who I'm not gonna lie, there's some people you need to. Certain people, if they're watching this, there's people in that bracket that if you didn't take them seriously before, you need to take them seriously now, because they've leveled up enormously, and it's almost exclusively due to Xbox. Like,
some of the hard hitters even on the PlayStation scene moved on to the Xbox, right? Like, notable ones being Cypher. Cypher is like, he used to be a online monster too, and then I think he just straight up. I haven't seen him on ranked at all. I think he just straight up moved on to Xbox, and so has Maki, right?
Yeah,
extremely strong players, just grinding constantly on the Xbox.
Yeah, so of all the people I can think of, we've got Maki, Cypher, Ghost, Me, Loot Stairs, Space Musketeer, Ben 10.
B-Boy moved over too, right?
Yeah, B-Boy is on the grind.
PlayStation.
All the time he's on the grind. We got Final Thief in there now.
Yeah.
We got... Who's that other gnarly? Final Thief,
Is Jacko on there? Jacko?
No. I don't think...
I know who he's at. Wait. It's Arturo. Arturo.
Yeah, he's been on there too. He's got some pretty good results in the monthlies. He beats Taro once.
Yeah, King Arts. Yeah, he's been on.
It's popping. Like, you can play almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's very exciting, and would have never ever expected this is how the game would go. But if you don't want to wait for the real rollback and you've got $200 American to drop to play Sam Show, you could come join us. And if rollback was never announced, I'd just tell you straight up, you know, Xbox is the future of the game and you need to play it if you want to play Sam Show. But you know, rollback's coming, and I'm probably not going to tell you to buy an Xbox just to play, but still, I'm very, very grateful that we have Xbox.
Yeah, if you have if you have you don't have the game and you're interested in trying out and you just happen to have a Series X, just get it on.
Absolutely, no, don't.
Booming community on there already.
Yeah. Like, a lot of games, like, there's games, like, I looked into certain games like Akatsuki Blitzcamp and TMNT, JL, and Sam Show on Xbox is actually significantly more active than both of those games. There's games that would kill to have what Sam Show has now. Like, we're very, very fortunate. And I think if people have disregarded Xbox, they need to reevaluate, because we owe a lot to the Xbox version.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning, Xbox was this small, almost disjointed community that didn't have the latest tech, didn't have the latest, method of playing the game, and then people started moving over, and then taught them how to. I'd say taught them, but just showed them how the game could be played. Now they're like strongest. I think they're the strongest platform right now.
Absolutely. Like, I think I'm gonna be honest. I think the Xbox players, it's going to be very tangible, the difference between the Xbox players and the people who have not been on that platform. I think, just in terms of like grasp and usage of the game mechanics, and just like game sense for the frame data, I think it's going to be very palpable. Like, there's definitely things I'm a lot more conscious of than I was even when I was successful before, right? So I just think
having people to play in general, right? Like, PS4 is completely Discord status right now. Steam is completely Discord status. So if you're asking for games, it's like, I mean, if you're getting games, it's always the same few pool of people, right? It's like, you don't have people just constantly grinding, always showing up to a lobby and then rotating in and out, just constantly grinding day after day. Like, you really have to, on PlayStation, you just have to ask, and if there's nobody there to respond, then you're probably just not playing that day, right?
Yeah. And like, the other thing is that like, certain mechanics just don't work on other platforms. Like the just defend mechanic, which is like super fundamental to all of the defense, and the rage meter tug of war, it just doesn't work. And the anti-air system, like, how are you supposed to punish shallow jumps if you can't just defend? And I'd like predict certain people would like max height jump, and I'd be like, okay, here he goes, and then and they get smacked in the face. So
yeah, it's a little rough sometimes. And like, if you're not super used to it, like I am, like I've been playing. If you're not super used to it, then you can't really use some mechanics. Yeah, like you said, it's straight out unusable. If you can't JD, like there's some strings that if you don't JD it, JD is like the only answer. Like
yeah.
How do you survive Yoshitora JC pressure, right? Like, if you don't know how to JD, good luck, right? You're just gonna have to hold the mix every single time. So
Yeah, there's bad media situations you can get yourself out of, right?
Yeah.
It's chips out of situations you can just shut
Yeah.
down. Meter farming situations too, if you've labbed
Yeah,
it.
like farming meter is super important now. Like it's yeah, I see people playing. It's like you have to JD because look, if one person knows how to JD and you don't, they're getting their weapon flips much faster than you are, and weapon flips are very powerful. So whoever gets there first, you know.
The other thing I think is important to talk about with the change in the meta and like the kind of the shift to the Xbox platform is that that shift mostly occurred after Season 3, and Season 3 made significant changes to the multiple game mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
Those primarily being invincibility during stance break, and guard crush especially. Like,
Yeah.
I play people that haven't played since Season 1, and I guard crushed them. It was like, what did you just do? I was like, I guard crushed you. I was like, what's that? I was like, you were going red. I was like, I was going red. What do you mean I was red? And it's like, and now.
Yeah, and the best way to avoid guard crush is just JD or the blocks, right? Whenever your attack is incoming, you want to not be in that situation. So the more you JD, the longer you can block, I guess, because your guard is not going down. Your hidden guard value is not going down.
Well, like that, and the fact that guard crush, when you're conscious of it, has a guiding effect on the throw escape and the burst meta, where it's like, if you choose to burst, you now have no guard crush escape for when you inevitably make yourself minus, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you either have to risk late bursting and not getting full use of your max rage bar, right? Or you have to, God, what was I saying? Late burst. Yeah, so you have to burst early and then make yourself vulnerable to guard crush, or you have to like keep it on deck for guard crush, and then you might get killed before you can even make use of your whole bar. So it's like it's one of the best counters to Eason actually, is guard crush. Like, people are not thinking about, like, straight up, people are not understanding that influence, and I think, I'm not going to say I'm like some master of it, but if anybody is getting more used to it, it's definitely the Xbox people, and it's not getting uncommon for me to like finish games with both people glowing red with bars popped. It's happened, at least a couple players, it happens pretty frequently. So a lot of people,
depending on the character you play, that leads to SSMs and stuff.
yeah, there's characters that can mid-screen SSM, like both Baiken and Hibiki, most meta characters that can both mid-screen SSM off of 5Cs. So, yeah, I'm interested to see how that plays out at the tournament.
Oh yeah. Like that'd be definitely one thing. I think that's definitely one of the things that would filter out people. Just like, oh, do you know this tech? Like, because I think there's a lot of people coming in back into this game, right? So I'd be interested to see if they are still playing the old way or are they starting to adapt to the new way of playing. And I think that's definitely what separates the players from making it to top 8, right?
Yeah, we'll see how it all peters out, or plays out. Definitely some things to consider. So, or in regards to Frosty, since we've already talked about like the meta, did you want to like take a look over the bracket?
Oh yeah, I've scanned it since it was released. What, like this morning or at noon? I went through it. I don't know, man. What?
Yeah. So the thing about the bracket right now is it's kind of shit. So
it's something to do with Sam Show. I don't know what it is, but every time Sam Show is seated, there's really you've been to a lot of tournaments, so like, would you agree? Like, there's really a tournament that's like well seated from the get go. Everything just looks kind of, I don't know who seeded this, right?
So
I think that's just been an ongoing thing.
I don't especially care, as long as it's right eventually. But the thing is, this has happened to Frosty's before. Like, Frosty's 2020 had like really similar issue with Sam Show. So like, what they did was that there was like some player ranking chart or whatever that somebody made on the internet that like only looked at Evo and offline majors and just weighted based on that, and the only thing they used for seeding was that. So it completely ignored Ronin Rumble, completely ignored Lunar Phase and Xanadu Locals. So none of those people got credit. So like Vato didn't get seeded, J Dash didn't get seeded. I think other New York people didn't get seeded. Jacko was in my pool, which is fucking annoying, and he put me in losers. And well, I ended up doing well regardless, but like that's kind of not the point, right? Like
yeah, and it doesn't really take account of like keep in mind like Sam Show is one of those games where a lot of events are just straight up just weeklies, right? So you have to take a look at those weekly results as well, not just majors, because like this game already doesn't show up on like even at the regional level. It kind of has limited showing, right? So if you want to consider all the results, you really have to go dig a little deeper and maybe even ask community people.
absolutely, yeah, yeah. Like I don't get it, man. It's like, so I mentioned on their Discord. I was like, hey, can we send seating suggestions in advance? And he said, not really. Well, maybe, but like we're happy to take feedback after. But like we've got a team that we're confident in. And as soon as he said that, I was like, man, I don't know about this one. I don't know about this one, Chief. So they took a long ass time too. They took a whole week, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, so now they got 2 days to make changes for every single game, and from what I'm seeing in the discourse, apparently DNF Duel is like super fucked. Like
As well.
yeah,
Damn.
yeah. Like
So it's always those games, like the games that don't, you know what I mean? Just like
the small games.
Yeah, the small games that has like that you have to do extra homework for, and then they don't. Like
it's the price of poverty. I know. I think.
But the thing is, like even though we say that, like it's not complete. Like we've seen worse seedings than this, but it's still not the greatest, right? Like this is still like they got some of it right. I think it's not completely wrong, so we don't want to like blow them up completely.
I mean, there was the incident where it was probably the worst thing that's happened to Sam Show, but like that doesn't make this better, right?
I get that. Yeah. But I was thinking another one where it's like some top player just didn't. Yeah. I think that was the one. The New York people just didn't get seeded. But so what going on the bracket, like what are some issues that you're seeing here? Because like some of these names I recognize just because the community. There's some others I don't because they have. I mean, they might be active in more in their locals and more towards start the game. I don't recognize their names. But is there any that like it's really that comes to your mind?
So let me stream share this with you. So I have. Can you see? I have a Firefox window.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was gonna go through each bracket one by one. However, apparently, exactly as they were talking, somebody got moved in pool one. Like apparently somebody already got changed.
Really?
Yeah.
Who? Just now?
Yeah. So
I can't. I don't recall the like who got changed.
Apparently, so I'm just gonna hit refresh. So like, see, Maki apparently got moved. So he's here. Al, so bracket Al.
What was he before? What was Maki before?
This is before changes. This is before changes. So he's here, right? So look at projected. Right. Round 3. So you look at this bracket right now. We got Bad Intent. I'm number 1 seed. We got Bad Intent, who got 5th at KIT, and he's been active on Xbox. Right. So I can't.
Seated, yeah.
Yeah, he's not seated at all. Look. 65.
Wow.
And he's got some results. Oh, I don't know how old this is. This might be really old, but actually no. This is the last KIT that just happened. Yeah. This is another tournament that he played in recently. And I know it's local, but he got second. So this might actually refresh the bracket. Yeah, it did. So whoopsie daisy. But so what do we got? So yeah, Bad Intent's not seeded at all. Just a little whack. This is all. Ayo, it's Dave. There's no seating list. Like there's no Smash GG doesn't show you that for outside viewers. So I can't just look at a list and be like, actually let me look at this. Oh, this does work. I think it's just this pool. Let's go to all brackets. Standings. No. Doesn't work like that, really.
Usually got to go for pool by pool.
Yeah, so let's just look at this pool by pool. So Ayo, it's
So if
Dave.
they're changing things, then yeah.
He used to be seed number 6.
Now 16.
Yeah, so that's a lot better.
Okay, so they are going through it, so that there's still some hope.
Yeah. It is better.
But one of the biggest things that I noticed was let me see if they changed it just now.
Which bracket do you want to go to?
I'm looking at the one with Andy in it, because Andy, I know he's not going because of unfortunate events, but he's completely not seated when right, like even if is that standard procedure?
Fine.
You know someone's not going, you just don't seed them. Is that how it goes?
That is how it goes. Yeah, because like
okay, that makes sense.
They wouldn't seed him and then just have to change him later, right?
Well, I'll assume they seed him and then put as a buy, right? But I guess they know they're not going, so they just put them down in pool C1. I was surprised by that. I was like, what?
Yeah, I might as well refresh all of these because I know there was some issues. So like, one of the issues, this guy was seeded like 6th, and this guy hasn't played since 2019. This SysMX. So I don't know what that.
So they're looking at just official events, which is probably from a lot of them from years ago, right?
Well, not even that, because Flunk got top 8 last year, and he's not.
Yeah, why is Flunk's not seeded? That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's high. Even if you don't consider online, and he has good online results, right? But he had he got top 8. He's played with a lot of Sanity locals. He deserves a seed, right? Like, why is Shinchi seated above Light Ice? Why does Light Ice like got top 8 at Summer Jam? Yeah,
multi-time winner at Xanadu as well. So
yeah, but anyway, it looks like they did make some changes, so I'm gonna refresh these. What the fuck? Okay, just wait. There will be swearing on this podcast, by the way. It's not one for the kiddies. So that shows an M-rated game. So it looks like actually not a lot of changes outside of that one thing. Damn. Okay, so all they did here was they moved Maki to the Stan's branch. Now, in all fairness, that does make sense, since the Stan is seated lower. Right. Or at least lower than me. That's Maki's seat, so he's 8th. Maki is 9th. I don't really think this is like, number 1 seed, right? That's kind of makes sense. Number 1 seed should play the best players the latest, right? So, assuming I don't fuck up. Like, so the interesting thing about these pools is that it's one top 8 placer per pool. Like, one top 8 placer per winner or losers bracket. So, like, you will have to play a top player in pools. Period. It's not like KIT, where you didn't the game. And the Evo bracket too, it didn't really start until top 16. But like, yeah, your pools are not gonna be free. So,
So, going down these polls, let's just do you see any names? Like, is there any specific names that's jump out to you? Like you have comments about, especially people who signed up that you weren't expecting to sign up.
I mean, yeah, this guy's really good. He hasn't been like we've been playing like a lot. He hasn't been like beating me, but you have to keep in mind the vast majority of these dudes are like total randos, like total like no results, no offline results, no net play results, or I don't even know who they are, or they only played at locals with like 3 people. Like this guy I've sort of heard of.
He's 039.
Oh, that's actually decent. He got 16th at VGA. So, yeah, it's not horrible. I don't know who that is. 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 It's all randoms. So even if you put bad intent here, right, it'd make more sense. Because I'm gonna have to play.
Switch from his. Is he? You say you played him quite recently. Well, you've been playing him a lot on Xbox. Has he made a full switch to Biken?
Not really. He's still putting in work with Charlotte.
Charlotte? Yeah. Okay.
It's probably going to be you see him playing, unless he tries to get fancy with me. But like, I assure you that in this entire branch, he is significantly better than all these people. And I have to play him first match, probably. So.
Oh man, yeah.
That's a little fucked up. Yeah. Especially with me as number 1 seed.
Should be probably going down to D&E, right? Like somewhere in that branch, maybe.
Yeah. Well, like.
Or at the very least, B and C.
I could probably pull up my email that I sent. I'll go over that after. I had a big email with all my suggestions.
A big name on this list is Adventure. I'm kind of hyped to see him play.
Yeah, but not in Sam's show. He's a good
No, I get that. But that's still like because he plays Sogetsu too, and that I feel like that's a character that suits him. And I didn't get to see him. I don't think he was on stream at Vortex Gallery, but it'll be interesting to see how.
He did decent.
Yeah, see how he develops.
He's
really good. Like I think he picks up the game really fast. I played him a couple games. When he was just asking, he was like, "Oh yeah, I want to get into Sam's show," and I played a couple games with him, and he picks up the game really, really fast. I think, especially with a Sogetsu, which is like a very technical character.
Yeah,
you can get quite like, as long as you do your homework, you do a lab, and I think he's like a lab monster, right? So if you lab out your flow charts for Okizeme, that character serves them quite well. Another person I know here that's like Blue Star. Is it the Blue Star that I know? I think it's the Blue Star that I know plays. That's actually the brother of Ragnell. So he says, okay, so his name is David Ziegel, right? So if you go to bracket, I think D. Kellyanne's first opponent. I think not D. Maybe it's C. It's Kellyanne. It's Kellyanne's opponent. There it is, Ragnell. Yeah. So if you see Ragnell, do they share the same last name? They do. These are brothers. So they're brothers are playing.
That's the cipher. The cipher connection. The two brothers. Brothers and Sam show. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I have 2 guys in my local like that. They're brothers close in age, and they play every fighting game together. Play in their houses, and they're both in the Sam show.
So I played these two. I wouldn't say quite a lot, but I definitely played them before. Ragnell, I don't know if he still does, but Ragnell plays Biken, whereas Blue Star plays Halmar. So it'll be interesting to see if they survive the pools and see how far they make it.
I mean, a bracket this huge, there definitely could be some upsets, and we probably should not be assuming that Parsec people are going to be automatically winning, right? So that's pretty interesting.
We'll see how much. Yeah, we'll see how much they maybe they've been grinding that we just don't know. So other than that, everybody looks kind of Musketeer. You know what? Musketeer.
Yeah.
He's not doing bad actually. I played him recently. He's not doing. He's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
So I can see him making. Let's see. Along the way, he has to go through. We're assuming Maki pulls through. So.
I put on projected.
Yeah. Oh, there's Dustin in there as well. Yeah, Dustin. Ooh, he's going up against Dustin. That's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
Maki.
Well, honestly, because we kind of have a group chat where we're kind of talking about this, obviously, right? So if they're not gonna move him to a different pool, which it looks like they're doubling down on this, it's probably better that he's in Destan's branch than mine. Just because, for one thing, Maki is like one shit more recently, and we play each other all the time, and he's played in more recent events, and Destan has not, right? It makes a little more sense for him to play Destan than to play me, right? So
Yeah,
as far as this pool goes with that distribution, I don't think this is really bad. I think this is alright.
yeah, it looks alright. This looks okay. A1.
There are definitely issues with some other pools. Pool D being the most egregious, so let's just keep going one by one. So pool 2.
Pool 2.
So
Sorrow, that's a big name, yeah.
yeah, one of the only people to beat me this year. Or in like any context, right? I think the only people I've lost to this year, I think it's Ghost, Cypher,
Maki.
and Ghost, Cypher, Maki, and Sinister. And 2 of those were only once. 3 of those were only once.
Mm-hmm.
And if you count the bracket reset at Lunar Bout, then Tao. So that's a pretty illustrious list. So I wonder if that's not why like the auto seeder or whatever like jumped up his seed, because like I think he had like the number 2 seed or something ridiculous. Yeah, he has the number 2 seed.
Yeah.
And like, so I was a good player, but like his only local, well, there's Furiatika, right? So this isn't like insignificant, right?
Chori, Top, Phantom, oh yeah, all the Costa Ricans
Yeah.
players. Yeah.
So he has that to
Super
his
strong
credit,
player.
right?
Yeah.
And he got 5th at Lunar Bout, right? He could have done a bit better, but like I maybe put his seed down like 1 or 2, but it's like Sorrow definitely should be seeded. So I'm not really opposed to him having the top seed in this pool. Actually, you know what? Comparatively speaking, if you consider like
Of our career.
yeah, if you consider overall career and also the 2nd place at Lunar Bout, which is a big one because it's a very cool set, right? Let's see.
I haven't
Yeah,
seen.
look at these. He's won both of these. He won DMV. Why is Lunar Bout not listed?
Interesting.
Let's see. Maybe use a different profile, but like, yeah, he got 2nd at Lunar Bout. So I would probably swap. Actually, if you swap Sorrow here, that makes the problem of Sorrow having to play Helio Vision, who is also an Xbox native, right? So I'm sure Tao will do fine. But yeah, they're definitely the most notable people here. The killers per se are probably Sorrow.
From what I've heard, Azeroth is very good. From Ghost. I think he's a New York Jubei player.
Yeah, but that guy, yeah, he hasn't been active in a long time. Right. So let's see.
Healing Vision is definitely one of the dark horses.
Absolutely,
I'm rooting
absolutely.
for Healing.
Healing Vision
Healing
did.
Vision.
Well, let me look at this first to see.
15.
Were these DQs? This is a really old result. This is from like. Yeah, this is from. Oh no. Yeah, this is definitely. This is the one from. This is the 2020. Oh, this is the 2010-19 ECT. So.
Oh, that's a while ago.
It's a really, really old result. And then. I think these seem like DQs. Yeah, I know, yeah, because Shinshi DQ'd his first match, so I don't know. I don't think you can look at somebody that played in 2019 and be like, okay, oh, this guy's definitely the shit, right?
Oh, I'm just saying. I'm just giving context.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything about their seed. I'm just saying, from what I've heard, the names that I recognize on this list. Azu. Oh, I'm keeping my eyes on Azu because Ghost and I have been training this guy for like months. So it's real interesting to see how far they take it. That's something I'm going to be putting my eyes on. And then there's Healing Vision. Healing Vision, what I saw at Vortex Gallery, that's a scary Amakusa.
He put Amakusa on the map, and he's definitely, since he got on Xbox, he's been, because he wasn't on Xbox before VG, and since
what was he on PS4?
He's a PS4 monster. He plays. He mentioned he played me once before, but
do you know what his PSN name is? I'm curious.
I don't think I remember. His Xbox name is some guy 138, but I know his PSN ID is not Healing Vision. But like I played.
Yeah, I wonder.
I played when I was planning to go to last year's Frosties before I canceled. I played some Amakusa and long sets, and I'm pretty sure that was him. Like I don't think it could have been anybody else.
Yeah, Amakusa is probably the best zoner in the game right now.
Yeah, he's major slept on. He's not low tier. He's good. Like
no, it's a good character, and if you're not careful, you're gonna get mixed to death.
Like he beat Taki clean. He beat Maki clean, and keep in mind he wasn't seeded. And this is a pretty big bracket, right? So
yeah, 66. Yeah.
I'm expecting good things. He has to get through Tao, which is unfortunate, but you know somebody has to get through Tao.
Yeah, there's quite a few notables, and anyone else on this list that
James Jr. was pretty good back in the day, but he's like primarily a KOF player.
Oh yeah.
So let's see.
And our dear Thrusty is also in this bracket, going against.
These are really old. That's the last. That's the 2020 Frosty.
SNK World Championships.
Oh my god! Oh, I don't want to be reminded of that.
I wonder what Thrusty, because Thrusty uses a lot of characters. Like, who is he actually good at? Like, who is he actually his main? You know what I mean? Like his actual main. Is it Katsuki? It's Katsuki, right?
No, probably a Sagetsu. So yeah.
Sagetsu.
Yeah.
Thrusty's a Sagetsu player. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So he has some other characters that he kind of puts work into or doesn't put work into, but I think if Frosty is trying to play most serious, he will pick Sagetsu.
Interesting. And then Master Havoc here, Darlie player, Darlie Iroha player.
I've never heard of this dude.
I've only come into contact with him like this past month. It's not a quote-unquote new player, but he picked up the game in 2019, I believe, and then dropped the game and then just coming back to it. So it's just a name I recognize. So, but I wonder if they're gonna stream any of these games in the pools.
Alzarov probably has a seed, doesn't he? It's probably. Let's see. He does have a seed, kinda. Let's 15. See. Let's look at the standings. I think that looks alright. I think that's fair. That's pretty good. I would swap. Yeah. I would probably swap Sorrow and Tao, and move Healing Vision to a different pool and swap them with the third place in another pool. But I think this looks pretty fair. Yeah, we were talking before, like, you know, the worst pools are A and D. B and C are mostly alright. So I think that kind of summarizes Pool B. So we have to C. So Andy's here, but that's kind of nil, since, you know.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah.
I would just probably remove him just so the bracket looks cleaner, but it's like, you know, it's what it is. I'm sad he couldn't make it, but
Viet Lu. Is it interesting? He's a good player.
I really wouldn't sleep on Vietlu.
No, yeah. But the thing is, I don't know what's going on with him lately. Like even in Vortex Gallery, it's like he's known for his Nako, but he's not using Nako lately. I don't know what's up with that. Do you know anything about it? Like he plays on Xbox, right?
Well, he hasn't played Nako, so he was actually playing Tam Tam really recently.
I saw that.
He-
that was a big question mark.
He was doing decent, so
Hmm.
I
I
wouldn't.
mean, then again, Vietlu's been on a character crisis since forever, so that might just be him trying different characters out.
I feel like Vietlu's scary because you can't predict anything about him.
No, it just pulls out the random, most random.
It's the Valdo of Sam show.
Yeah.
So
See, what else is on?
the biggest fucking issue with this pool is why does Weir have the 6th seed?
That's a big. Why? Yeah. Why is that? Like, what has he done specifically to earn that 6?
They just said can't cough player. See that motherfucker.
Top KOF player.
Yeah.
Now,
To be fair, this is a decent result, but like, it's also like
6.
one tournament. I mean,
and that's and versus Big Bates. This must have been years. ago.
he got double jeopardy. No, this is last year. He got double jeopardy by Big Bates.
Last year. Okay.
And then these dudes, I don't know who they are, but like, I know Weir is obviously a super accomplished KOF player, but like, he's never kind of been about that in Sam show. So I don't know why this needs fixing. I don't know why. I don't know who did this shit, but I'd probably swap Healing Vision here, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because then, you know, he plays Vato, and they don't play each other all the time. These guys don't really... Royal and Vietlu, they don't really play each other all the time. I feel like that swap solves the issue. Royal Seku really needs no introduction. Like, obvious net play warrior, but he's gone top... What? He got 3rd at Vortex Gallery, 2nd at both the last 2 KITs. So, if you consider there's not even that many majors, and he's got top 3 in 3 of them, right? And he's got net play wins, right? It's pretty hard to say. This is a very appropriate seed. This is good.
Definitely. Super strong.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's gonna pull out. Like he's been working on all these like sub characters. I wonder if he's actually gonna pull them out. Like he's been working on Hanzo, working on he's working on a Warden. I've seen that. And working on a Haomaru. He's quite a few characters. But I think he just always goes to his strongest, right? Like Alfred.
He really seems like a specialist. I really feel like it's gonna be the Galford is what we're gonna be saying. I don't really expect something super spicy from him. Unless it's like a KIT situation where it's like his back's against the wall. But yeah.
And he has the best pop-offs.
He's a very animated guy, that is for sure.
He has the best pop-offs. So if we can see him on stream, that'd be a treat.
So in this branch, there's some people I recognize, but they don't really have like results. Yeah.
Fachu.
I don't know Dr. Science.
Don't know.
This guy's been in some things, I think. Last year's Frosties. Not really strong results. In my opinion, if somebody doesn't like pop up.
Ooh, 9th place at Kumite KIT.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. This part's fine. Latinx, I would definitely always put stock on Vato.
Straight up a Warden main now, huh? I think just stop playing Shiki altogether, right?
Yeah, he's like, I don't know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, he was like, oh, I'm gonna play Warden. And then he just, he just stopped.
Yeah, he's a Warden main now, huh? I think just stop playing Shiki altogether, right?
one of the only dedicated wardens. He's probably the only like warden main. And the crazy thing is he never plays death play, so we can't even see him. Right.
Yeah.
So Lunar Bout, I know he DQ'd. Last year's Frosties, he was very close. And took a game off Cal. That's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, he DQ'd himself. Oh. Whoopsie.
Is that what happened? He just DQ'd, just stopped playing?
Yeah. I heard he had some complaints with last Frosty or something. Like, he got double booked for a pool or something.
Oh, I see.
So.
Yeah, that happens. And happens a decent amount, actually, now I think about it. A lot of DQs in Sam Show brackets.
Well, like.
Self DQs, yeah.
Last year was interesting because of Omicron, which, like, a lot of people dipped. They're like, there was going to be, like, I was going to be there, Sinister was going to be there, Loose Stairs was going to be there, Olipop was going to be there. It would have been a lot different, a very different bracket.
But other than that, other than the Wero, it's not that bad, right?
Yeah, this is the biggest issue.
Yeah.
But this is probably, even if you put Maki here, that would like immediately solve the problem of both pool A and this pool.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? You know, they might listen or they might
Yeah,
not.
like I said, yeah, it's just like things are just slightly off, but it's not a complete disaster like some other brackets.
Yeah. So this one is the big fucking problem. The big problemo right here. Sugar Bear, I love you, but like, I don't know about this one, Chief.
Siege 4 above some of the others. Oh,
that's better than Tao Seed. That's better than the Stalin Seed. That's better than.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Big
know.
love for Sugar Bear, but that seems high. That seems quite high.
I wonder if Sugar Bear realizes, like, if I went up to him and was like, "Hey man, you're 4th seed," he'd probably be like, "What the fuck?" Like. So that'll probably be changed.
Yeah. And then Light Ice being no seed, that's also kind of weird.
It's very weird, right? Like he doesn't have like the most recent results,
but still not worth 36.
Yeah,
36 seed.
Yeah, especially considering there's a lot of people who have no results, right? And he has.
Oh, he's going up against a Freakaholic, who I've also been working with. Training with for Frosty Faustings. I've been working with a lot of people coming in. I have to play games with all these people asking for games. Yeah. Shizu player maybe using Shizu.
Enabling all the upsets. It's all gonna be because of you. Yeah. So that is weird that like of all the people with almost no credentials, Light Ice, they wouldn't even seed him. So that's a little weird. The biggest issue is this person has not played in a very, very long time, and they've got the 5th place seed.
Yeah, and they haven't had even the games they did play, they didn't have the best results either. So
yeah, so
and then Flunk.
Yeah, why?
Flunk is down there for no reason.
Flunk is not like a tournament winner. Oh yeah, well look at this. I guess he is.
Yeah, is that it? Yeah.
Well, let's see this.
76 seed, bruh.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, somebody that did this, whoever did this, I want to sound mean, but like, it seems a little out of touch. Cause like I don't know how, even if you like, presumably you looked at the biggest events, right? So how could you look at the last year's Frosty and like say the Flunk shouldn't be seeded at all? Like Flunk is not like Tao's level or Sinister's level or my level, but like that doesn't mean
he's strong though. He's still a decent, like he's definitely a top 8 contender for sure. Like
yeah, so
that's like a bit of a raised eyebrow there. Aru.
It's pretty
I wonder
open.
how high his seed is.
He's
12
pretty
seed.
he's pretty open about not playing anymore. I know this tournament was from last year, but you know, it's a smaller local. It's something. A lot of these people don't really play either. I mean, NORECOIL, yeah, he's pretty known, but
Yeah.
like,
Interesting.
you know, I wouldn't tell you he's a top Samsho player, and he's seeded really high, so.
Yeah.
So, now that we've reviewed this, in my opinion, Pool 4, by far, has the biggest
It's
problems.
the weirdest. Yeah, it has the weirdest.
So, if they do this right, and I really hope they do, they'll probably move some of the more stacked people. Like, they'll probably put me or Dastan in D, or they'll probably put what? Just put Tao in D. I don't think this is that hard to fix, honestly. Like, Evo was like a similarly sized bracket, and I see it with the same logic. And the way we did it with Evo was I just did it myself, and then all those guys, like my team, it was mostly Maki, B-Boy, MM, Kelly, and Frosty, and I was just like, okay, well, you guys have access to the settings page, you can go look at the seeds, so let me know if you agree. And they just made minor suggestions, and then we just changed them, and I was just like, well, we're all players. We're not all the same skill level, but we're all players, and we all know who everybody is. So of everyone that can make the changes, we are basically the best candidates, and there's a fair amount of trust. So
Yeah, I think definitely. I mean, I don't want to tell TOs what their business is, but like I feel like these kind of things should at least have someone on the community as a at the very least as a consultant, right? Like it shouldn't completely be internal and stuff.
The thing I think they're worried about is they're worried about bias seating or competitor seating, but the thing is that like it's very hard to have a bias amongst multiple people unless they're all friends, but like then you have to assume every single person is in cahoots to rig the thing, and I don't honestly think that's very common. I think it's happened before, but like even if they do that, it still has to go live, and then there still has to be feedback. Right. So it's like,
going by what we have right now, and if you turn on the show projected, like who would be hurt the most from these seedings? Like, I feel like who would have
Light
extra
ice.
pain? Light ice, yeah. I feel like light ice can go through decently until quarter.
I don't know about this projected, because who is this? I don't know.
What would be 11 frames?
Yeah, I don't know about these projections. Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, I'm gonna cross my fingers and hope they do right by Samsho, because it's like, I get that like it's easy to have seeding arguments in bad faith, right? Like it's easy for some mediocre player to like just want a seed, to want an easy bracket, and there's not much you can do to like prove it. But like seeding is also like not a hard problem to solve, right? And it's also very important, right? Not even for like, you have to, even for a net play tournament, it's important. For anything with money, it's important. But
yeah,
almost everybody here is paying a lot of money to go to this, and for something that has like such a profound impact, it's very disappointing if something as simple as seeding like messes up your tournament run, right?
Yeah.
So I'm crossing my fingers.
But overall, for The other pools is okay. I think just D. D is just super weird. A has like a one issue, and then D is just kind of all over the place.
Yeah, the other brackets on review, they're actually not as bad as I remember them being. It's just that Pool D is pretty horrible.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll fix it at least a bit, right?
And apparently one of them is a kind of a really bad pool for DMV players, right?
Oh yeah, this one. This has three DMV players. So
damn, only two can.
And these guys. Oh, did they move them? Two of them were in adjacent. Yeah. So Light Ice and Sugar Bear are in adjacent branches.
Ouch.
So they're gonna play each other at 3, and that's a little whack. Region should be above skill. That's like the only thing that should go above skill based. So like in my opinion, the way you rank seeding priority, it should be region, offline results, reputation, and online results. So like, because nobody wants to travel and play the same dudes from their local.
They already play, yeah.
So yeah, this is a pretty big oversight. I just think whoever did this, I'm not gonna say they didn't try, but like it doesn't seem like somebody in the Samsung community did this. So maybe that's something for future years. Maybe it's something I'll leave feedback about. But yeah, it's something, especially with when in earlier years it was a problem. It's starting to be a consistent problem with Frosties. Cause let me see. Frosty, do I already have one of these? 2020 had a very infamous pool. This shit was so brutal. What the fuck? Oh, this is the wrong one. God damn it. Technology is hard. Oh, fuck.
Probably has some weird name to it.
Oh, I didn't change the tournament number. I just changed the year.
There it is. (2020) qualifier.
Where is...
Wow, there's quite a few players in it.
Does it say the pool number? Here, I'm gonna shoot this way. So... Star GG is the worst.
Oh man.
Okay, finally, here we
That was
go.
a big tournament. It's a big tournament.
J-Dash, Rikier, the Guilty Gear player, LPN, Argonrost, and Vato in a 13-person pool.
In the same. Yikes.
So yeah, J-Dash was pretty upset about this. Yeah, I don't think they see it.
Did I see Argonfrost in this coming Frosty Faustings?
I think he's in the bracket, but like, yeah, let me see. He's in the bracket, but like, his results kind of aren't great in Sam Show.
Oh, there it is. No seed. Bottom seed. 95 seed. Oh,
I
yeah.
guess ninth isn't that bad, and he got 7th at CEO Sam Show. And I know he
Mm-hmm.
won Holiday Matsuri. Well, what pool is this, actually? He's a low seed. He should probably be seeded more than the average
Yeah.
person, but like, yeah, he's in Sorrow's side of the pool.
Oof. With the losers bracket is going to be really interesting. I think generally the winners have the expected results, but the losers, yes.
It's gonna be interesting. I'm definitely gonna watch every pool.
Yeah.
There's like a 2-hour break before top 8 anyway. That's assuming I even qualify, right?
Yeah.
If they don't change the pools, I don't even know. I might not make it out. I mean, in losers, okay, yeah, probably I'll make it out, but like, I don't know if I'll make it out in winners the way the pools are. So
Well, what's your winners run? If they assuming they don't change anything, what's your run?
I don't like the projected, so I'm probably playing bad intent
Bad intent, and then
or random,
and then against a random, and then
and
going
then
against
a random. I'm
a
probably
random.
yeah, it's Dave, right?
Yeah, and then so
And then
assuming you win that, then you're going against who in that?
either
It's gonna be
Maki or Destan,
or
right?
that's done. Yeah, that's
You have to play at least one top player, so
yeah.
it's like whatever, right? It's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming this is probably not gonna get changed. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
mentally preparing for this, but yeah, I definitely could lose to either of these people. I'm not arrogant enough to say that I'm gonna win for sure. I try.
I mean, Snapshot, they
I got that.
kind of game. It got a little bit of randomness to it sometimes.
Got that 3 button, the 3 button 80%. So
Yeah. Pull a Guzman, you're dead.
yeah. So I don't know. I like to consider every bit of success a happy accident, right? And then it's like
I definitely want to see. It might like for my. We can start talking about the top 8. It's like I think the way I see it, the top 6 of those top 8 is probably going to be somebody that's fairly expected, and then I wish for a Parsec era player and a new player to make it to fill up the remaining 2 places. That's I think that's the best scenario.
yeah.
In my way, like I really want to see a completely unknown, like someone from Xbox crew, and that's completely unknown. Well, not completely unknown, but like I'll just say it, like I want to see Healing Vision up there, right? That would be so cool. And then I want to see like someone that I do not know about, somebody who's been grinding in the dark all this years.
Yeah. It's good to get rid of your preconceived notions and not assume that somebody has the right to win just because they're seeded or because they're a top player in Parsec or they're a top player in net play. Because there's no like laws of success, right? It's just however you play that day, right? So
upsets keep things interesting, right?
I'm just the impression I get, like my instinct. I feel like this is going to be a dicier bracket than last year's Frosties. Like there's going to be more upsets. I just have a feeling. Just with the prep people have been making for rollback, I feel like some people are gonna end up disappointed, but like there's gonna be other tournaments, and that's just how it goes, right?
Yeah.
So that's that. To be honest, I don't even really feel like predicting a top 8 until the pools are final.
True.
And then even then, whatever top 8 we think of probably is not even going to be accurate.
And you're also the the number one target.
Yeah,
Considering
absolutely.
you got like giant crosshairs on you. Like your result, you haven't lost, right? Since you haven't lost a tournament, right?
I have not lost an offline event. I have lost
An offline event, yeah.
I have lost net play events, but
yeah,
I won quite a few net play events too. So
yeah. But in terms of offline, I think everybody wants to take that streak, break your streak.
Yeah, I'm pretty obviously the guy to beat.
Who do you have your eyes on as like threat number one to you?
I don't know if I want to say that out loud. I don't know if I want to say that. I don't know. That's...
Okay.
We can talk about it in the post show.
In the post-mortem.
Yeah. We'll probably do a top 8 watch, but I definitely have an answer to that question, but I'm not gonna tell you. So
fair. I mean, we can
go.
You are in the tournament.
We can go off the air, and then I can tell you, but it's probably not hard to figure out. But
True.
So, let's see. So, Frosties. As far as Frosty goes itself, Frosties is a really cool, quirky major, just like as an event spot, and not just a tournament itself, right? Because I'm trying to mentally think about it, like to take pressure about it off myself. I'm trying to think of it as like a vacation, and not just a tournament, because that's effectively what it is, and ultimately, it's a video game, right? So no matter what happens, I'm gonna pound back some drinks. There's lots of cool things at this event, right?
Meet some people. Meet people you haven't seen. You've been talking to online. Nah. I kind of want to fly out, man, but I can't. But like I want to meet some of you guys. Goddamn.
Combo breaker, my guy. It's gonna be the biggest event. End of May.
End of May. Oh boy.
Oh, let's go. Inazuma.
Scrap. I gotta find.
What if you win? You could get the vinyl record trophy. That's the theme of Combo Breaker. All the trophies are the little vinyl discs.
The vinyl disc? Oh shit. Nice. Bring my absolute low tier Remu.
Let's see. Let's see what they look like. Maybe in the new patch, Remu will be the best.
Remu is like, she's like one bad patch away from being a complete broken character. So they got to be very careful with what they do. I think they've already pushed her as far as she can go in terms of balance, right? Like they can add things here and there, but it doesn't solve her issue. And the patches that would make her actually that would break her weakness and make her like take away her weakness would just make her busted. So she's just one of those characters that's like you cannot overtune.
So
nice.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. Definitely a once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah.
Oh, see Chris G and you have fucking 50 of them.
Is there enough shelf space anymore for these?
Yeah, he's got like 3 cabinets or some shit.
Damn.
I don't even have one. I don't have a one shelf. I've been meaning to get a shelf for like medals and stuff, but I'm lazy and cheap. So, yeah, and the cool thing about Frosty, they have a lot of big emphasis on like the arcadey, funfair aspect. So like there's like a cosplay contest. There's like random cabs in the hallways of like super old games like Tekken 3.
Nice.
They've got some tournaments for some really obscure games. Like Frosty's really goes hard with the indie representations. So, like there's a TFH Fighting Herds tournament.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's like
actually, you know what? I wonder if let me just take a peek real quick. because I know my locals is really, really into that game. So I wonder if I see any
Wow,
names.
that's
Let's see
crazy.
here. My locals straight up killed Sam Show for this game. So I'm trying to get Sam Show back, and the TO is up for that. He even got the Steam version. So if rollback is good on Steam, hopefully we can get online locals back with that for Sam Show. But I'm curious to see if I see anybody here. Just
Sam should watch so ponies could run.
pretty much. Yeah, it's like, do I recognize anyone here? Ooh, oh, Space Musketeers in this game. You know, I say that, but like, I don't know who actually goes to my locals for this game. So looking at this list doesn't help.
Yeah.
But just wondering if I see anyone I don't recognize at all.
You don't recognize any fighting herd celebrities?
Wouldn't know. I would know. I'm not in tune with that game. I'm just looking for any name that I recognize at all, like maybe from my locals, but I wouldn't know. Anyway, so
we were
yep.
going to talk a bit about rollback. I guess we sort of did, but I think, well, I prepared this little Mr. Krabs ring a cowbell thing, but we kind of talked about the delay.
Yeah, like the delay came as a surprise. Not really. It's like we're kind of used to it. Used to SK doing this, so it's like, you know, they say January, and then when it was complete radio silence for the first 2 weeks of January, we were just thinking, you know what, this might just be after Frosty Faustings, and they're just not gonna say anything.
It started as a joke, and then it became, oh man, it's actually not gonna be for Frosty. But it's just a little sad because that would have been really, really great.
Did we meme that into existence? We never know.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it would have been really great for promo. Like all the streams right then, like right before signups close, probably could have got like 120 at least. But
yeah.
And I know some people have mentioned, right, they were waiting for practice. And then it just didn't come out. So now what are you gonna do?
No! You should have net played.
Should have bought an Xbox, kiddo. Sorry about that. Gotta pay to play.
I mean, okay. Here's the thing, right? The thing about Sam Show netcode, and I think a lot of people get this wrong. You can still play the game. Your combos, they're not really gonna drop unless you play Kazuki. If you play Kazuki, your combos might drop, but your combos not really gonna drop. The thing about Sam Show netcode, a lot of it is straight up just instability. Like Steam is completely unstable. We have with a joke where whenever you start a lobby, you gotta keep in mind 1 hour, because at around 1 hour it would just crash. So it's like, oh no, 15 minutes, let's restart the game, right? It's like, but you can still play. That said, it depends on who you play against, because it's a toss up sometimes. But it's just weird. Like Sam Show netcode, when it's good, it's pretty good. Even in delay, it's pretty good. But when it's bad, it's really bad.
Yeah. It's like, it's when it's good, it's workable. But the thing is, when it's bad, it's like
unplayable.
Stick your hand in a meat grinder, like.
Yeah.
It's.
Yeah. I think the best. I remember playing some guy, and then I got knocked down, and they did a meaty projectile on me. I want a neutral wake up, so I let go of my stick to do that, because if you hold direction, you'll roll, right? I neutral woke up. The game was so delayed, it did not register that I went back to blocking. So I had the projectile was unblockable if I decided to wake up in neutral.
Yeah, the game, it kind of just, the principles of the game don't operate. And I think that's why PSN tournaments are just dead, because...
Yeah, it's... And especially, these days when you have to do your JDs. But, I still laugh about it. It's like, hey, if I can JD and delay, you can too. Because people just say, oh, I can't JD. It's like, hey, you got to put your mind to it. If I can do it, you can do it too. And I JD in between strings, so you just have to try. But when rollback comes, I think that's going to be a big shock to me, because I'm like, oh my god, everything's so crisp. I can see the code.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be really nice to just, like, load up the game and actually get matchup experience for every character. Actually be able to play people you don't, like, know personally. Right? Like, think of how it is for Strive. You just load up the game and there's, like, dozens of players. That's, like... Yeah. It's like a pipe dream for this game. Like, you probably almost... Every net player, you probably know them a little bit.
Yeah.
But
right as it is right now, it's just like... even on Xbox, you don't see many new names, right? It's just the same people, right?
I mean, a new name pops around every once in a while. But it's a pretty tight-knit community, yeah. Yeah. This isn't like you basically don't play ranked.
Yeah.
It's still a Discord fighter.
Yeah. Yeah, I think ideally I just want to see, if I hit ranked, I can see a couple of names that I don't recognize and just be able to play that. It's funny because when they announced rollback is coming, there was new people on PlayStation that I didn't recognize. It's like, oh yeah, new blood, interesting. So hopefully for rollback we get that on every platform. Just people playing the platform they want to play on.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever.
Speaking of which, look, when rollback comes, are you still sticking with Xbox? Or you just Xbox crew now, right?
I'm gonna probably play every platform I own. So like, I imagine it'll be most popular Steam, PS4, and Xbox. So I'll probably just play all of those. I don't think Xbox One is going to get used.
Wait, is Xbox One even getting? Oh, it is getting. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't think EGS is gonna get used. Like I'll play it if someone has it, but I think those three I named.
Yeah, but which platform is it? Are you going to be the one that it's like, oh, I'm just going to turn on and play? Like, which one do you think you're going to stick to?
Well, I prefer Xbox just for 120 because apparently the 120 helps the netcode a bit.
Oh yeah.
But like,
couldn't matter in rollback, right?
Yeah, as long as it's good enough. Most people still don't have an Xbox too.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to think about how the community is going to cope with like all different platforms, but I'm sure we'll figure it out.
I have a feeling that the old players are going to go back to PlayStation, and then the new players will just go to Steam, because I think people are just starting to just get things on their PCs more now.
Well,
I don't think people are going to justify like we're fanatics, so we buy this game on multiple platforms, but I think the people coming back to the game probably won't feel like buying the game again, and the people coming into the game will probably just go with Steam instead over consoles.
So the way it works generally is PC is usually the best version of every fighting game, and usually if people have a default to choose, they usually choose Steam, unless it's a situation like Melty or Persona 4, where even with a PC version, the PS4 version is a better platform. And it seems like Steam version's pretty good. I don't really think there's huge port issues with
other than stability,
other than Switch, which is not the same game because of 55 FPS, because it's missing graphic effects. But I don't think. I think long term, people probably gonna play Sam Shodown's PC. And I think, that's another thing we didn't talk about. We didn't talk about Xbox. Sam Show's on Xbox. Frosties.
Yeah. That's a that's a big change. There, you know more about it, so I'll let you. Why don't you tell us about it?
So obviously the Xbox Online, it's been active for a while, and the biggest regular online community right now, very obviously, is Xbox, but a lot of top players in different parts of the US have been dipping their feet with Xbox and are like really vouching for it. So like I know Sinister and a couple Texas people have been running on Xbox Series. And then the other big thing is that the DMV crew are like all their weeklies is running Xbox. And they all say like, you know, they don't have issues and it's by far the best version. I haven't heard like a bad thing from anyone who's ever played that. So when you've got all three of those communities, and also you've got the people at Evo who tried playing it local and they said they really like it. So Royal Psycho tried it for the first time and Bubba tried it for the first time, and Final Thief.
I think the biggest concern people have going into this is that they're afraid that there's going to be a decent amount of adjustment needed going into the Xbox version, coming from PlayStation especially. I think there's some people who raise some concerns over that, and for Frosty Faustings, the converters are provided, right? So in terms of your peripheral, there shouldn't be an issue. It's just that people saying, oh, you know, how different is it? Like if I've been grinding on PlayStation and other platforms, how much of a disadvantage am I going to be going into the Xbox version? And so like you played on every platform. So what is the immediate like what kind of jarring effects, if any, would someone expect to see coming from another platform?
So impressionistically, just because the equipment required to actually measure input lag is very specialized and expensive. In my opinion, the Xbox version feels almost exactly like an optimal PC setup with VSync turned off. So if you have Steam or EGS Sam Show and you just fire up training mode and you have like a good rig and a good setup, that's basically what it feels like if you want an impression. So as far as like other fighting games go, like there's a big wave to have more fighting game events on PC. If you've played like any fighting game on PC or like on a high refresh rate monitor, you probably have an impression of what it plays like.
So, well, gameplay wise, what does that translate to? Like, what are we expecting? What are players expecting to be, you know, different? Like, what do they have to adjust to, like, going into these higher resolution, higher, what do we call it? Refresh rate. It
just feels like more freedom. It just feels like you can trust your reactions more. Right? Okay. There isn't like Xbox specific tactics. There's no like Xbox specific behaviors.
Right.
The game is
because that's okay. Because I think that's what some people have. They're questioning. It's like, is there specific gameplay things that just like straight up I never experienced before on another one that will surprise me because this person has been playing on Xbox, right? And like even what was stuff like dash stopping, right? Like run stopping is very big in Sam Show. So did you feel difference between run stopping?
Not more than anything else. It works the same. Like when I was playing a KIT, I was run stopping like a lot.
Right.
On the
and
PS4.
That was on PlayStation?
Yeah.
PS4. Yeah. So I guess it's more about reacting to what you see. Like you'll be able to like see an anti-air coming and be able to JD that better, right? And stuff like that.
Yeah.
With finish better and stuff like that.
And like, you know, the spot dodge, that has a big impact. Your counter poking.
Dodging throws, I guess, like noticing when they, you know, tick into dash up throw, like that's a big one.
So like dashing punishes, the dash buffer in this game is like very, very narrow. So I think that might help. But I don't really have anything off the top of my head where it's like, oh, this is like way easier on Xbox, other than just like, you know, the whole game is kind of just feels nicer, right?
Okay, so it's more like a quality of life, just feels better. It's not so much of a actual mechanical advantage. Whereas like, let's say you're playing on, you're training on grinding on Switch and you're moving on to, it's not that kind of jarring effect, right?
Yeah, it's nothing like that, in my opinion. I really don't think that the difference in platforms is going to make almost any difference in player results. I don't think anyone gets hurt by this change, right? And I think the same people that are strong on PS4 are just gonna be like exactly the strong on Xbox.
Right.
If you lost at Frosty's, you probably didn't lose because it was on Xbox.
Right.
I think it's like a fairy tale argument to like think of some super edge case scenario where someone reacted something marginally faster and like landed on normal and then they won. I don't think that's realistically how it works in fighting games, and I don't think that's a scenario really worth considering. And even if it is, it's certainly not enough to justify not switching to Xbox. Like, if you look at the entire wave of how fighting games are going, it's like you ultimately have to play modern games. You have to have modern hardware, and eventually you're going to have to come to terms with that. No matter what situation you think you are, and we can't stay back on decade-old hardware to accommodate every person in the world that doesn't want or can't pay money. And you know, without going into detail, I'm not exactly a rich man, but like when the cost of going to any major is the same or more than getting a modern setup, and a modern setup, like literally like just the amount of time I've spent on Xbox these 6 months, it's been more than worth it. And then I actually don't know how you could pay to go to a major and then make the argument that upgrading to Xbox isn't worth it. It's like, it's really gonna help the future of the game, especially with the assistance of broke hardware, which is going to make things like enormously more accessible. And if it wasn't for Brook, I'd be a lot more hesitant to go forward with this, but it's just one of the things that helped like align all this together and make it a good idea. And you know, the biggest voices in the community agree with it. Almost all of the less involved and more casual voices are okay with it or support it. We did a formal survey and almost all the responses were positive, and the people outright opposed, I'm not going to name them on stream, but like I counted 3 people total. So I'm sorry to, you know, certain East Coast KOF players that might be very, very upset, but too fucking bad, because this is what people want, and this is how the game's gonna go. So
like, I mean, everybody's probably going to get some warm up on the setups before the tournament. But is this so big of a change that you have to do that to get used to the Xbox setup, or is this something like is this so minute that you can just plug and play?
I definitely suggest that, but like, I think you should actually do that at like every tournament, because like,
right,
there's no standard Evo monitor anymore, right? And
right.
you know, so stuff like console heat can impact and Bluetooth devices. There's too many factors influencing lag now that like adapting to the lag is now unfortunately part of the meta.
Right.
So
you basically, you know, you're gonna have to hop on one of the stations beforehand to get used to it. Like, so going from PlayStation to Xbox, and adjusting to that is along the lines of just adjusting to a different monitor anyway. So
yeah.
I
don't think any part of the adjustment is going to be like that, like
That's serious.
I don't think the adjustment will be like the vertigo of the adjustment will be enough for people to like not like it. I don't think anyone is going to play this version of the game and be like, "Oh, bro, this sucks." I don't want to like. No, that's not consistent. That's not consistent with the feedback from anyone. And I think people are gonna kind of see, you know, how good this is.
I'm gonna put myself out there and say during the Parsec era, I preferred console netplay over Parsec. I'm just saying.
Parsec,
but that's just me.
Parsec wasn't even consistent because like the Google server could take a shit, and then it was just as bad as PSN. And now you're paying money, so
yeah,
that's not quite the same thing, but
right.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I don't see there being a big issue. The biggest thing I've been dealing with was I have an enclosure set up. So I'll like
for the Brooks.
Yeah, so I'll like put it on
Right.
stream here. Let's see. I shouldn't say on stream. I'll put it on the recording. Yeah, so basically the way this is going to work is I have a 3D printed enclosure that fits 2 Brook boards, or Brook converters. So the converter gets screwed onto the wooden boards, and then the closing part is screwed in with a machine screw after you put the Brook converters in. And then those converters are then plugged with USB extenders into the Xbox. So if you need to unplug the converters for whatever reason, you don't need to actually remove the converters from the enclosure. So you just unplug the extenders, and it's effectively the same thing. And then if you have like a proprietary Xbox, or you have a UFB that just works with an Xbox, you just unplug one of them and you pop it right in, and it just works. So
It just works.
there's a minor quirk that needs a workaround, but like we have a solution for it. We just have to inform the TOs about it, and it's like a quick fix. But I don't anticipate there'll be issues. I've like done quite a bit of testing. I've tested 11 sticks, and then for funsies I tested 2 Switch controllers, and I tested PS3 stick, and they all work. And,
yeah, and if it worse comes to worse, like Kelly, Thrusty, and you are all there, so that you guys all have experience at Vortex Gallery.
Yeah.
So if they need to help the TOs over at Frosty Faustings, it wouldn't be an issue.
The only scenario I could possibly think of is if someone is using some super obscure PCB to connect, but like I'm pretty sure everything that works with PS4 Legacy works with the Brook boards, and it's like if really gets to that point, we did say it's Brook converters, right? So it is on you to make sure you have something that works with that. But I think from what we can see, I asked everyone if they tried anything that doesn't work, or they know of anything that doesn't work. They can't think of a single thing. So, and no one has got in touch with me like on Twitter to raise concern. And the 2 people that have asked about the controllers they used, I looked it up, and we verified it works. And I tried my Hitbox crossover and it works, which is not on the official verified list. So like, I think this is going to work perfectly fine.
Yeah,
I think we're good.
Pretty good. Yeah, just putting it out there for people who still have still hesitant about it, because I do know that some people are asking about it, especially people who are just getting into the game. I've noticed some people asking in the Discords and stuff, but I think they'll have a good time.
Yeah, I mean it worked fine at Evo for casuals.
Mm-hmm.
And if the DMV guys noticed a problem in their local, they would have said it. I've been talking to them quite a bit.
Yeah.
And if you really have a problem, Uh, Thrusty and Sorrow and Kelly and I and Maki were working out a system where like we're gonna be like pseudo TOs for the brackets we aren't playing in, and we're gonna help the TO guys or whoever else if there's a problem.
That's good.
But I think it'll be okay. I'm not worried about the converters taking a shit and like dying and ruining everything. I don't think that's a realistic point of concern. So yeah, we'll see, and then we'll take a look. I want to be fair. I don't want to like force things on people. That's why we did the survey. So we'll probably do like a feedback survey and like only open it to people who played at Frosty. I was like, okay, you played at Frosty. How do you feel about it? Do you have any feedback? Any concerns? Do you want to do this again? And then there's been talks about trying to see if this can happen at Combo Breaker. And then Combo Breaker Rick has said he's open to the idea. So that's very cool. And then even after Frosty's, there's quite a bit of time until Combo Breaker to sort that out. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, excited.
Yes, sir.
So when rollback comes, do you have any other than grinding more? Is there any specific things you want to work on? You want to do for rollback?
So I was debating running a tournament. I'm like thinking about it, but I'm not so sure. For one thing is that I know a couple people are considering that already, and with only a week, I don't want it to get more crowded. And if people have more streaming experience, right, it's better that they do
you're
it.
talking about the rollback beta. Not, I was more thinking about just rollback in general when it does come. But you're talking about the 7 days that we get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think some people are doing the tournaments, rollback tournaments.
Yeah, I've heard some murmurs about a certain exhibition, but I don't have some concrete details on that.
Interesting.
And then basically what my personal plan was, I was going to make a list of every single person I want to play. And I was going to DM basically every single one of them with my Steam ID. And I want to run first to 20s with like every single one of them. So I don't really want to. It's not like I don't want to play them. I don't want to play as much people that I already play on Xbox. I really want to play the people I haven't played in years. Or the people that play
okay.
The people that live really far away, like the Brazil people, or even the Japanese people. Like I want to play that one Basara. Mangiable? Guy's the best Basara.
Ooh,
Mangiable. You don't know Mangiable?
The Japanese the Japanese Basara?
Yeah, he's like won tournaments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his actual ID name? It's something Manji something, right? Manji. I forgot his name.
Manjimal, I think. There's a.
Yeah, I know who he is, but
I don't know if you know KS Chinaha. I only know these people by their PSN names.
ID.
I can't read moon runes, so he was.
There's a lot of really strong Japanese players who only stick around the Japanese region, but hopefully when rollback comes, they'll be more open to international challengers. But definitely there's some players in Japan that I want to play against again. I want to play against Kano again. Like Kano, I played quite a bit with him, but then Japan and NA not that great. So
yeah,
Kano being the Japanese, one of the Japanese top removes. But as for me during rollback, I believe somebody wants to challenge me to first to 10, but I think for the most part I will just be shepherding the new players who's coming in. Just showing them the game. Like I'm pretty sure a lot of people are getting the game for the first time. Now that it's rollback, even if just to play the rollback it's just a test, right? I think a lot of people just get the game just for that. So I think we recently I've been involved, like the main Sam Show Discord has been trying to revamp the Discord as well as the wiki in preparation for all the new players that's coming in.
Yeah,
So I think
there's a team of people that have been putting a lot of work into Mizuumi, myself included, and it's looking a lot more complete and a lot cleaner and a lot more accurate than it was before. It's not quite done, but it'll be mostly done before rollback. So yeah, that's actually my plan after Frosties, was to land, then just immediately hit the wiki as hard as I can for like the 4 days until the beta. And hopefully the beta goes well and it doesn't break the game and give Jubei a cancelable 5C again.
Oh no.
We had arguments over that shit.
That was so funny.
It was dark days.
And it got hot fixed, right? It got fixed within a couple of days, right? Or did it take a while? I don't remember.
Took about a week or 2 weeks.
A week, right? Yeah. And then Jubei was the best character in the game for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. God, Hibiki too with her bugged counter.
Hibiki, yeah, you counter from full screen. It's like, oh, nice projectile you got there. They just suck you in. That was so good.
I wouldn't mind a character.
I boycotted the game during that. I was like, I'm not touching this game until they fix the game. I straight up didn't play the game.
Yeah, that's probably what I was. That's what I was considering. Because we didn't find out. I think we didn't find out it was like that until the day of Wednesday Night Fights. The same day, I'm pretty sure. It was.
Well, the Hibiki thing was known immediately because they demonstrated it in the reveal, in the character reveal. But the Jubei thing wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
It's like, what? You're on the character reveal. The funny thing is the Hibiki character reveal wasn't done by SNK. They gave the preview copy to like Dengeki magazine, and they were just trying things out, and they found out on stream. Oh man.
Yeah. This game has had a weird history of glitches. Like the Aroha glitch we found in team battle. That Andy found in team battle.
That one, the one where you just what happened in that one?
If you
it
could
just breaks the game, right?
No, you could. If you got people to do like a cross under run, you could get them to run infinitely into the corner.
Oh, it just locked. Yeah, you just lose.
Yeah, it was like a cable glitch. A cable glitch kind of thing.
Yeah, there was a glitch where Rimu loses a key move.
Yeah. If you did weapon flip in neutral and it was blocked, she'd lose all her specials.
Yep.
And then people swore.
You had to do it again. You had to get hit. No, it's not that it was blocked. It's fine if you get blocked. If you were blocked and you got punished for it, you lose all your special. And then in order to bring your specials back, you gotta do it again and get punished again to get your special back.
That's meta. You don't want them now. They won't punish your weapon flip. So.
That's so funny. When I saw that bug, I was like, nah, I'm not playing this. I'm definitely not playing this until you fix it.
People swore up and down that it would never happen in tournament, and then the same day
it did.
It did.
It was like, oh, it's such a specific thing. It's like, no, it's not.
Yeah, that was a time. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. Hopefully. I don't know if I trust SNK not to break everything, but...
Well, we don't know if it's just... I don't think any... Well, I can't say for sure, but like, if it's just netcode stuff, I don't think they would touch the balance at all. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. Unless it's something weird like, oh, if you play in a casual room, this character doesn't have access to the specials for whatever reason. If you play in a specific 4-man lobby, Rimu can't use her weapon flip, something like that.
Alright, so I think that pretty much covers the docket for tonight. So if you made it this far, thanks for listening to us ramble. This is a pretty fun time. As far as future plans for the podcast go, some of the ideas that I'm personally mulling around are like a player spotlight or like a TO spotlight, like interview kind of thing. The next episode we probably do will be a top 8 review. That's kind of content that like makes itself. So
yeah, it's free.
Yeah, you just watch a VOD. So that'll probably be up next week. This won't be like a weekly thing. It'll just be like whenever we see fit, and I think that's pretty fair with the amount of content there is for Sam Show. So that's the plan for that, and then I kind of want to do a tier list on stream.
You want to do a tier list on stream?
I want to do a tier list episode.
Oh no.
I want to do a tier list. It'll be fun.
We already have a tier list. What do you mean we do a tier list? Just do the same one over again?
We can do it.
Or are you gonna do Ronald already does plenty of that.
We can invite a couple people, and then we could do a group tier list.
Okay.
I think that would be pretty fun. So yeah, but that's the future. For now, I gotta pack. I got like a day to pack, do my last minute plans. I'm feeling pretty good.
Good. Excited for you.
Yes, thank you very much for joining me. I'm sad you cannot be there, but I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. Looking forward to putting my best work in. Looking forward to promoting the game. I'm looking forward to some fucking deep dish. I didn't get deep dish last time, and it's one of my biggest regrets. So, Royal Seiko, because he's the Chicago local, he's taking us to Giordano's. We're gonna pig out, and
nice.
Yeah, no matter what happens, it's gonna be dope. So, nice. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thank you for supporting us in the scene. Have a great night. Catch you later.
See you guys.
Try it on my bike and see you later.
Bye guys.
Rimu is high tier. Good night.